Right, so let's finish up. Pause. Pause. Do you feel your posture? Your heels up, you're leaning, your pelvis is out. There's no power behind that. Anybody? So that's the turn. It's not this, it's not this, it's just turn. If he's on my center, that makes it easy, that my vertical axis is the one I'm turning on. As I do that, I can shift to the outside a bit, you know, assuming I'm not here or not, I suppose, already here. Right? So assuming I'm something like this, shifting and turning, and I'm not blocking this, I'm letting my arms swing out as I turn so that I help redirect this, and then I'm turning here. And what I want to do is be able to clear my body with this. I want him making a large circle here. And I'm following that. If I just did this, he might want to follow this and then challenge it with his arm, his other arm, his footwork. You know, like pull your arm back, do the circle faster, reach your other arm across, step somewhere. But any of those ideas are probably going to have a change of heart when this is following. Right? So this becomes a more important danger. Right now the danger is that you're not going to be able to use your weapon against me, or you're not going to be able to control your weapon very well. And those are real problems. But right now, when your kids are in the pool, those are your problems. You know, like kids drowning in the pool is what I was picturing. That's your problem. Doesn't matter about you have to get your flat tire fixed or whatever else is on your mind. So whatever else is on his mind right here, or maybe forming in his mind, is sort of trumped by this. Right? And that requires my attending, my mind here. But this path, because I haven't shifted or stepped, is actually taking me here. If that happens too late, when I fold your elbow doesn't fold this far, and this doesn't become an ateme. When it comes too late, the camera's going. When it comes too late, that was the secret part. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you jumping in right before I told you the secret. So yeah, that means sell it, like when I do it. Like, oh my God, right. So that also means that if I do this too late, Tony's on to other things, right? Maybe stepping, moving, challenging that, and so forth. So this is coming very similar timing, so that when this moves him, this becomes the ateme, and then my body is still turning here, and I want to end up with this touching my body, or close enough that with a minor adjustment I can make it touch. Once he's touching, I'm in pretty good shape in terms of finishing him. Right? So again. I'm waiting for him to move here. Now right here, the move that we're talking about is physical, right? So he starts to shift. He starts to shift his weight, he starts to extend his arm, or both. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is feel the mental movement, his change mentally when we do this. Right? That's really what I want to get. Because what we are doing here is imagining a gun. So the gun's not going to do this. And I'm not going to watch the fingers. I'm just seeing when things change here. That's why I'm not doing this. As one of the reasons I'm doing this. And before his work goes here, right. So remember I said that the analogy was your kids drowning in the pool. You said your biggest problem today was your flat tire. You're thinking about how you're going to pay for it or who you're going to call it. You know, once you see the kid in the back that shouldn't be in the pool, obviously that's the most important thing. Now, I said flat tire, which is maybe a big deal in somebody's day, but not usually life or death, make or break. Now, if the first thing, this is the flat tire we're talking about, he really does care about this. It is in fact important, and certainly taking up his attention. But if this was his $10,000 in cash, right? Because it's a gun, it's not so much a flat tire as 10,000 in cash, right? Like it's the most important thing in his day, but it's also the most important thing that would have happened over the last 40 days or a year. Like it's not just today's important thing, that's a very important thing all the time. So if this happens with a gun, and there's a kid in the pool that shouldn't be in the pool, he might for a moment say, is that the kid I love? Or is it my other kid? Because it's a gun. He might say, oh yeah, right? So like, yeah, there's two, right? But the flat tire, every kid is more important. But the 100,000 in cash or whatever the amount is, you might say, you can learn a lesson for a few minutes about not going in the pool. So because this is a gun, which should also be true of a knife to some extent, the fact of its importance is going to change how you fight for it now. How much energy you put, how quickly you come back to trying to control this arm, going for something else, stepping your body. And so that importance is really important to me to overcome that, with something even more important, right? So this, whatever our analogies have become now, this is even more important, right? So I know that his mind is going to get back to this gun or knife very soon compared to your flat tire, right? The number of things that can interrupt your flat tire importance are fairly high, but the gun importance is going to be harder to do. And so I'm keeping your mind there. And this is in control, and we notice if this is touching me, I mean, continue to maintain control. What I'd probably do here is keep that gun pointing away from him and away from danger, and then work it, challenging it, which of course we could settle into in a finish. Does that feel fair? Notice how his hips are up from the pain, so it's not very easy to change his position compared to if we were letting go of this for a moment. Here, you're changing your position here, walk around your legs and hips. Yeah, you may be right. So let's go back to this. That's a little bit harder for you to consider. Okay?
Don't like it possible.
So I'll do that on each of you. So the way to do this is to practice with the knife, where there's a physical change that I'm trying to figure out. Didn't figure it out, I'm done, right? At least that's my operating theory, is that a little bit, it's over. What I want to be able to do is feel that movement, lead it large, ateme. We could think of it as a ateme followed by an ateme, or more like what's it called in a duet, like both of us are singing the same ateme, it's just you and then it's my part. So from your point of view, it's the same ateme, right? Or maybe it's an ateme with its importance renewing partway through. He pushes, lead, high, ateme, lead into connection. From here, we can continue to challenge him in a number of different ways where, if this is a gun or a knife, it'd be pretty easy to control him here. You can tap. Fair? Try that. Twice each, no talking. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Just realized that was 5 I did. You went to the inside, which would be fine in terms of not getting stabbed or cut, just not to move it over. So what you're looking for with your partners is to be honest. Did they feel the ateme? Did you move too late? Did you really lead them in a circle? Was there hesitation in the ateme? Did the ateme come too late and they really could have withdrawn their arm or used their other arm? This is where it pays off to have really good partners who will give you that feedback. It may be worse to go home thinking you have something that'll save your life than the way you came to class before you knew anything about it at all. There you go. Just keep your stance, keep your composure, keep your balance. Let's try one more time. I'll do it with you behind me. Let's do the other side. So let's go. So we're square. Let's do less than square. So gun. This is where I'm going. I want this to come up on this side of his elbow, on the distal side of the elbow. If I come up higher, he could decide to articulate the elbow so that gun still points at me. What I want to do is have that rise quickly. I could also get it to rise quickly here, but I could miss, right? Also from here, even if the gun moves, I haven't challenged him. So if he just steps back with his right foot, and then easy to shoot me now, right? Relatively speaking, and you probably will now. You weren't ready to shoot me for whatever reason here, right? So what I want to do is move the gun and start to affect your balance. You were somewhere here, right? So in the ear temple kind of zone. So as I do this, I'm lowering my head, my ear particularly to the side, like in a back roll, towards my bicep. So that if this gun goes off, I'm trying to change who it's shooting. I'm trying to change his structure, balance, and attention, and I'm trying to protect my ear when that gun goes off, probably fairly near my ear, right? Here, stepping behind. Now, if I just throw him here, which of course I could, I don't know where that gun's going, but I know that based on my life experience, it's going to shoot a kid or a dog. Like, I don't have that kind of luck, right? So, as a martial artist, I have zero interest in luck, right? Here, one motion, stepping behind, right? I think Tony switched feet this time, but we'll be okay. So we're here. Once I start to get his balance, my free hand comes up to his elbow and moves it to his xiphoid process. So my elbow's on his wrist, or at least my tricep is. And now I want to go down as smoothly as him so that there's not space and then I land. So I'm trying to keep pressure on his wrist. So as he starts to go down, I'm lowering my wrist. And, right? So that you don't have that moment free. Chances are you're not James Bond, so that as you start following, you put a round in his, the center of his forehead. Let's try that again. Now Tony will tell me if I'm too high, where he could have stayed target. If the elbow lifts, the target can stay. I want to change the target right away. So I'm here, you have room to fall, sir? Here, as I'm letting him fall, lowering that. And then I'm going to change my position for my arms so that I have some structure. And then we can look for finish. Let's do the other side. First, Tony's using a knife, but we're representing a gun.
I'll just switching sides.
Sure, yeah, you're good. So, this motion, bringing my ear towards my bicep, shifting my weight. Here, so switch feet. That's where we had begun it, right? Because that was the step. Once I start to do this, I want to find his elbow and lower him like so. And then I'm going to start to solve all these secondary problems, like does he kick, does he reach for this or that. But I want to end up with structure and pinning his wrist or forearm or hand, whatever I get, frankly, to his body. Notice here that the gun is going away from both of us. I'm not interested in you getting shot either. I want somebody to testify to how awesome I was. Okay. Try that. Take a step to your left and a step forward, both of you, please. Yeah, nice, good, good. Use the tool, please, no finger.
Oh.
So you're way on his wrists, right? So you cleared the gun, probably cleared your skull and your ear, but you didn't challenge his structure right away. So an okay is just going to go with it because he knows what you want. A better okay is going to say my structure's not challenged and maybe start to recover the gun or kick you instead, you know, whatever he might do instead. Probably gun, if it's a gun, but you want to be on the elbow, the forearm side of the elbow, on the forearm, that's wrist. So see how that doesn't challenge the structure as immediately? Good. So when we've been practicing this, we had the gun in the right hand and the left foot forward. That was the original setup. Even though it was slightly forward, it wasn't big. Feel how you're on his hand and his wrist?
Yeah.
And if you just look at Rick's structure, he's perfectly vertical. Right? No, that's clearing the wrist. Find his forearm near his elbow and move his structure. That's better. And then step. It won't take much. So you didn't step. So it's hard to get your ear to your bicep and to follow up his loss of
So
structure.
when I stepped on the little tangle, do I?
Step your right foot behind his far leg. Nope. Nope, the other side. Yep. So his hamstring should be on your quad. So if Rick, you start a little bit closer to him. There you go. I think that's how the original
Well,
setup
part of
was.
it, when he did spin around it, I had
Yeah.
to step back.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But then that's because he didn't step to catch you before you stepped. And you needed to step. That's fine. So that time you kind of dropped your body instead of extend your arm. So you want to be close. You want him sitting on your lap like Santa. Right? Better. Yeah, but you're getting shot now. Right? Not enough to throw him if you're not controlling the weapon. The way we control the weapon on this particular thing is to follow through. You never wrestle for it. You know, he keeps the weapon like he wants. I challenge it, so he probably focuses on holding on to it, if not aiming it. Meanwhile, I take a structure apart. Once I'm on top of him pinning the weapon's not super functional, right? Especially if it's touching him. Let him shoot it when it gets hot. I'll use that. Next. It's a pretty nice little thing for your key ring, huh? Take your seatbelt off.
Yeah.
I think I've used the blade like 4 times, 3 times in my life for seatbelts.
Steve, always the right, you wanna?
No, it was switched. So you want the back of your forearm to find them, Rick. You were kind of here, so it's harder to get yourself close enough to your bicep. If you're back, you can get yourself closer to your bicep and also have some more throwing power this way than this way. Try it. You can't get as close here as you can here. They're primary, so if they need to switch, we'll just spin them up. foot about perpendicular to their foot when your leg is behind their leg. Right now you're parallel to his foot, so it's gonna be hard for him to go over your leg. Right? Think about this, you know, if I'm Santa, somebody doesn't wanna sit on my leg this way, they slip off, and they sit at an angle. Thanks for the camera work there, Rick. So they wanna sit facing one of two ways. If they sit here, then they slip off sometimes, or more often than not, right? So when I get behind you, I won't throw you here, when I get behind your leg, I wanna be here. So, perpendicular from here, see what I mean? It's a whole lot harder to think that you're gonna fall over that, you'll probably step. So this time I'm gonna throw you, hold up, easier there. Of course, you know, I'd be holding this differently if it was a gun, but it doesn't really matter for this, the shape of the hand so much. It doesn't gonna change the upper arm too much, so it doesn't really, this could be a bunch of different things that we're dealing with. So, behind you. Aha. So once I start going, just palm on my elbow, bring my elbow to the bottom of my sternum. Other hand. Yeah, and lead me. Right. And now you can adjust your feet to sort of, you know, wherever you think you want your weight or what I'm doing. Like I put my right knee on the left sleeve by the upper arm. You know, that'll kind of pin me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to make an adjustment. But this, you can move your body weight, you can turn your hips, you can turn your arm. Yeah. Don't lay on me. You want to be aware of the whole scene. You want to be able to sit up. But I have a lot. And of course, you could easily start to, you know, put the gun on safety here, you know, get it out of my hand. You know, there's, it's your whole body here against nature. Right?
So yeah, at what point did I secure the gun?
You could now. You're in a position to secure the gun in particulars. I just want to get you down here so that the gun is in stasis, as opposed to legally securing it, and then you separate it from me and clear the round and all that. So that wanted to be on him much sooner. It was a lot of free play as he fell. You guys want to see it again, or you think you got it? We're about done.
It's always nice to see.
Did I not do it on you yet?
I have not done.
Okay, I'll do that. So this foot's moving forward. So this is not what I want here. I want to be here. So I'm challenging his structure right away. Stepping just behind. Once he's starting to have his balance, feel that stays pinned, and then I can move my legs depending on exactly where I think they'd be most helpful to pin. So that's going to be a really tough sell for you to think about that weapon again now. Right? You might also notice I'm keeping my elbow, so if he reaches his foot to my head, reach your other foot to my head, you're going to bump into that.